Everything you have been taught about the Great Pyramid is a lie. It was never a tomb. It wasn't a granary. It wasn't a monument to a king's ego. The pyramids are not buildings at all. They are something else entirely. Something ancient, powerful, and a truth so profound it was deliberately buried under millennia of sand and deception. For centuries, we have been told a simple story. A mighty pharaoh builds a magnificent tomb to house his body for eternity. It's a comfortable narrative. It's also wrong. The evidence against it is overwhelming. Yet it is ignored by mainstream academia. We are here to uncover what they refuse to see. The pharaohs were indeed buried in Egypt, but not in these great stone enigmas. They were laid to rest in the Valley of the Kings, in tombs lavishly decorated with warnings, spells, and stories of their lives. So why were they buried near the pyramids, but never inside them? The answer is simpler, and far more disturbing than you think. Step inside the Great Pyramid with your mind. You will not find what you expect. There are no sealed sarcophagi containing mummified remains. In fact, the main chamber of the Great Pyramid was found completely empty, barren. The granite coffer inside is larger than the passageway leading to it, meaning it was placed there as the pyramid was constructed around it. There are no hieroglyphs, no paintings on the walls, no ornate decorations befitting a god-king. Where are the epic tales of the pharaoh's life? The spells from the Book of the Dead to guide his soul? There is only silence, a stark, functional, engineered silence. This was not a place of rest for the dead. It was a place of function, a place of work. So what was the so-called sarcophagus for, if not to hold a body? To understand its purpose, you must stop seeing the pyramid as a building, and start seeing it as a machine, a device. Consider the materials. The inner chambers are built from Aswan granite, a rock incredibly rich in quartz crystals, known for its piezoelectric properties, the ability to generate an electric charge under pressure. The entire structure was once encased in brilliant white Tura limestone, polished to a mirror finish, making it gleam under the sun and insulating the entire structure. Then there are the shafts, not clumsy air vents, but laser-straight channels, drilled through hundreds of feet of solid rock with a precision we would struggle to match today. These shafts align perfectly with specific star constellations, not for symbolic reasons, but for functional ones, like targeting coordinates for a sophisticated instrument. Ancient texts don't speak of the pyramids as tombs. They describe them humming with a strange energy. A sound they called the Song of the Stone. Could this be more than just a myth? The theory that gains the most traction once you discard the tomb narrative is that of a power plant. The Giza Plateau sits above natural underground aquifers. The movement of this water through subterranean cavities is known to create telluric currents, natural electrical currents flowing within the earth itself. The pyramid, with its specific shape and mass, could have harnessed these currents, drawing energy up from the ground. The high quartz content of the granite chambers would then vibrate, converting this telluric energy into something else, perhaps microwaves or acoustic energy, amplified within the precisely tuned chambers. The granite box in the king's chamber was not a coffin, it was a resonator. A tuning fork designed to vibrate at a specific, powerful frequency. The entire pyramid was a massive, passive energy device, drawing power from the earth itself. But what was this immense power used for? The answer might change how we see the entire ancient world. Some have theorized this energy was used for a form of wireless power, lighting cities and powering tools across the land. It's a compelling idea, but what if the purpose was something far more profound? What if the frequency it generated was not for powering simple devices, but for influencing something much more complex, human consciousness itself? The specific frequencies generated could have enhanced psychic abilities, promoted healing, or even facilitated communication over vast distances. But let's take this one impossible step further. The mainstream view is that the pyramid was built. But what if that's the foundational error in our thinking? We see stone blocks and assume they were quarried and stacked. But the deeper you look, the more the structure resembles something organic, something grown. What if the pyramid wasn't built on the Giza Plateau, but was grown from it? This leads us to the radical theory of geopolymers. Evidence suggests the massive blocks may not have been carved from distant quarries, but were cast in place using a sophisticated form of liquid limestone concrete. Samples from the pyramid casing stones show minerals and air bubbles that indicate a rapid, artificial casting process, not the slow formation of natural rock. This would explain the impossible precision of the joints, tighter than a razor's edge. and the sheer logistical impossibility of quarrying, transporting, and lifting millions of multi-ton blocks. The builders weren't just masons, they were master chemists. They had a formula for stone. They could pour a mountain. This reframes the entire structure. It becomes an extension of the Earth's geology, perfectly bonded to the bedrock it sits upon, making it an even more efficient conductor of planetary energy. But if the stones were cast, who possessed the chemical formula for a material stronger and more durable than anything we can create today? If this was a global power source, or a consciousness machine, it implies a level of scientific and societal sophistication far beyond what we attribute to dynastic Egypt. It implies a global civilization. Perhaps its purpose was even grander. What if the pyramid wasn't just for the benefit of humans, but for the planet itself? As a massive harmonic resonator, it could have interacted with the Earth's electromagnetic field, potentially stabilizing it. Could it have been an atmospheric regulator, influencing weather patterns? Or was it part of a planetary defense system, designed to emit a frequency that could deter cosmic threats? The sheer scale and power of such a device speaks to a purpose that is planetary in scope. Designed by minds who understood cosmic physics in a way we are only just beginning to grasp. This implies a level of global awareness and technology that completely shatters our timeline of human history. So who were the true builders? The answer is clear. Not the Egyptians we read about in textbooks. The dynastic Egyptians likely found these structures ancient and mysterious even to them. The true builders were a precursor civilization, a lost culture from a forgotten chapter of human history, one that was wiped from the record by a great cataclysm. They were not primitive people dragging stones through the sand. They were scientists, geologists, and astronomers of the highest order. They understood the subtle energies of the planet. They built these silent engines not to glorify a king, but to safeguard a world. They were the guardians of a lost science. But if such an advanced civilization existed, a culture capable of such magnificent feats of engineering and physics, why is there no record of them? Why would all knowledge of this advanced civilization be so thoroughly erased from history? The answer is the oldest story in the world, a cover-up. After the fall of this great civilization, new, more primitive powers rose from the ashes. They found these incredible, humming machines and did not understand them. But they understood power. They couldn't replicate the technology, but they could claim it. They could build their own, lesser tombs and temples in the shadow of these giants, and in doing so, absorb their legacy. The tomb narrative was invented. It was a simple, easy-to-understand story to mask a complex, world-altering truth that they no longer controlled. Knowledge of the pyramid's true function was hidden, becoming the secret of esoteric mystery schools and ruling elites. The pharaohs were buried nearby to borrow the sacred power of the location, to forever link their names with the god-like power of the true builders. And now we must ask the most chilling question of all. What if the pyramids are not dormant, but are simply waiting for the right conditions, or the right consciousness, to reactivate? The pyramids are not monuments to the dead. They are a promise of a forgotten future. They are not buildings made of stone, but instruments of frequency, tuned to the heartbeat of the earth and the music of the stars. They stand as a silent testament to a chapter of our own story we were forced to forget. The truth is not buried in some hidden chamber. It is encoded in the very angles, materials, and resonant frequency of the structures themselves, waiting for a generation with the courage to see them not for what we've been told they are, but for what they truly are. They are a legacy, a key, and a warning. What do you believe their true purpose was? Was it an energy plant, a consciousness device, or something else entirely? Leave your theory in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you wish to unlock more forbidden truths and question the reality you've been sold, subscribe to Pyramid Parables, and join the search for what was lost.